Well, good afternoon, everybody. I am SM Rai, a fellow of the Institute of Marine Engineers, and take this upon to welcome you all to this webinar today on topic emerging maritime opportunities and transformation. This is a jointly organized by Mumbai branch of the Institute of Marine Engineers and CMMI. So I will now invite our branch chairman, Mr. Vijender Jain, to address and give his welcome address to the audience. Mr. Jain. Mr. Jain, your mic is off.
Host, unmute. Yeah, good evening, everybody. I had been muted by the back end as a part of normal this thing. Let's start. Respected Director General of Shipping, Shri Amitabh Kumarji, speakers for today's function, eminent members of the shipping industry who have graced this occasion with their presence, colleagues and friends. Good evening and a warm welcome to this event, which is jointly being organized by both the CMMI and the Mumbai branch of the Institute of Marine Engineers. We are indeed humbled and encouraged by this tremendous response from the marine fraternity to our inaugural conclave. We've had more than close to 700 registrations, which is itself a huge number. This conclave has a sense of uniqueness to it. It is our maiden effort to jointly organize an e-seminar by both the CMMI as well as the IMEI, the largest maritime professional bodies in our country. Our first such effort to work together was on the 11th of January earlier this year, when we had organized a meeting in a physical form in the IRS auditorium, where we actually ran into a space crunch due to the tremendous response from our membership. We had at that time contemplated shifting our next event to a larger auditorium, not anticipating this sort of a large auditorium to accommodate our numerous members and increase viewership. In today's conclave, we are happy to report that we almost have 5 times the number of registrations that we had in January itself. With the new normal being that of organizing webinars and e-meetings, it has been noticed that we are now all, shall I say, being exhausted by a surplus of such events. At first, there was a novelty factor which excited us to organize such events. However, if we step back and look at the figures and try and summarize the meetings which we have organized in the past month, we find that with almost the same effort, we have been able to gather 5 to 10 times the viewership from across continents, and that too at a very negligible cost. Number 2, the participation from the audience is always live. The content on the chat is almost like a live feedback session. The interaction is so intense and frank that whilst going through the comments in the chat box after the event, we are able to collect a large number of concerns of the industry. Sri Amitabh Kumarji had, during the first webinar organized by the IMEI, requested for a report on the actionable points. The topic of our first webinar was about the impact of the pandemic on Indian shipping and the way forward. We have, on completion, submitted this report as kindly requested by him. The theme for today's sequel conclave is Emerging Maritime Opportunities and Transformations. Our chosen speakers, who are all leaders in their respective fields, shall be touching upon 6 different sectors of the maritime industry and shall be trying to address the emerging opportunities that the situation has thrown open to us. The segments which will be covered are training and education, logistics, digitalization, recruitment of seafarers, challenges to trade and shipping operations, and the role of classification societies. During this webinar, the audio and the video shall of course be muted, the share screen will not be permitted, and questions can be asked during the course of the seminar by typing in on the chat box at the bottom of the screen. The typed questions shall be picked up and directed to the concerned speaker by our backend. In case we receive a number of questions which cannot be answered in the allotted time, we shall direct the questions to the concerned guest speakers and revert with the answers at a later time individually. Since the time we announced this conclave, we are also happy to have received questions from various members across the world, and these questions shall be posed to our speakers today. Without much further ado, it is now my proud privilege and great honor to welcome the Director General of Shipping, Shri Amitabh Kumarji, to address us. As Director General of Shipping and regulator of the maritime industry in our country, he has been tirelessly and continuously working to bring out necessary changes in our system to address the very needs which have suddenly arisen due to the change situation, very commendably in this hour of crisis. Over to Shri Amitabh Kumarji.
Thank you. Congratulations to CMMI and IMEI for organizing this conclave. We have had several meetings, virtual meetings in last couple of weeks. And unfortunately, I have been speaking in all these meetings, and I would not like to repeat what I have already said before. I have said it earlier that in service industry, it is very important for the industry to maintain cordiality while interacting with each other. Every time a person interacts with another person, a customer interacts with the service provider, there is an encounter between the customer and the service provider. And if the customer is not satisfied with the interaction with the service provider, that particular encounter fails. And in service industry, it is said that if one encounter is failed, then the entire service fails. And the customer is not satisfied with the service experience that he had expected from the service provider. All along, the service industry has been trying to perfect this encounter with the customer. The way we speak, the way we interact, the processes that we design, the standardization that we bring in our service delivery is all aimed towards this small goal of satisfying the customer. But then we presume that there will be an encounter. Today, we have reached a situation where a customer does not want any encounter with you. No matter how good your service delivery, no matter how good your behavior, no matter how good the ambience, the customer does not want to encounter you. We have been trying our level best to design situations where design processes where the encounter is minimized. But none of our processes are robust enough to completely eliminate encounter. I had asked a few days back from my office whether we can provide e-certificates to all our ships. And Pat came the reply that yes, we are already providing e-services. I said, but I have not seen any process in my office which provides e-service. The reply was, no, we have allowed the classification societies to issue e-services and we accept it. The person who was giving the reply was quite satisfied that he has come up with a very novel concept of accepting e-service, little realizing that that little concept meant nothing for the industry as such. Now, this is a common problem that we face. We set ourselves very small goals. And when we achieve those goals, we think that we have solved the problems that faces the industry. What we forget is that the goal is a very small component of the overall mission that we want to achieve. And the mission itself is a very small concept of the vision that we need to achieve. If the vision was to provide all certificates to a ship on E mode, then just a decision to allow classification societies to issue e certificate was a minuscule goal that was to be achieved along with all other goals, final being that DG itself should issue all certificates for the ships on E mode. As industry leaders, and why I'm giving you this example is that all of you are industry leaders. As an industry leader, if you are satisfied with setting small goals and achieving it, then you are doing a very big disservice to the industry itself. Because even when you achieve your goal, the industry doesn't benefit from your achievements. So, as a leader, you need to set big goals, big visions, vision which really changes the way we function as an industry. Until we start doing that, we will only be grappling with issues that are relevant but are not important. Important in the sense of bringing in desired changes. This new COVID-19 crisis has taught us many things. And first thing it has taught us is as to how little we were prepared to do business without face-to-face human interaction. Today, our institutes are closed for more than 50 days. The offices of RPS agencies are closed for more than 50 days, and many of them are unable to provide services because some important certificates that they require are locked up in their office. The entire examination and certification system is at a complete standstill because we thought we had all the time in the world to modernize. We are not in a position to issue safety certificates to the vessels, conduct safety audits, and are forced to extend certificates without ensuring safety. How little prepared we were is also clear from the fact that for last 50 days, in the last 50 days of the lockdown, we are still busy taking action for survival to somehow manage our industry. Today's conclave needs to change this narrative, and I'm very glad with the subject that you have chosen for this concept. We need to look for the future. We need to go beyond survival. We need to grow. We need to progress, and we need to achieve our vision. We need more people getting trained. We need quality of our training to improve. We need our seafarers to be assessed and certified. We need to provide jobs, and we need to provide quality jobs. We need our fleet to increase, and we need our fleet to be safe. All this will require complete overhaul of the processes that we have designed for our industry so far. It will require adoption of new technology for the industry, and it will require new management practices. This conclave should be the start for everything new that we require in the maritime industry in India, with our vision held high, with our mission in place to achieve that vision, and with our goals and the timelines distributed to all those who matter in the industry. No one person can achieve this goal. No one government can achieve this goal unless and until each and every one of you sit and contribute to a vision, decide on a vision, and decide to implement your goals to achieve that vision. I know you have not called me to talk on your vision or your mission. You have called me because you want to know what is happening today and what is happening tomorrow. We have had plenty of discussions of what all has been done. You know that uh, we are in the process of starting virtual training. We have to now seriously look into the examination and certification system. We have not started looking into it till date. We have started the process of crew change in India in a very small way. We issued a circular recently for crew change at anchorages. There were initial hiccups, but after certain hiccups, uh, we saw some encouraging news from the southern ports, and crew change at anchorages has started. Today, we have received approval of Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Home Affairs to bring in some chartered flights for seafarers who had signed off abroad. These charter flights are point-to-point flights, would and they would be coming from Italy to Goa, bringing about more than 400 seafarers. We have encouraged a lot of shipping companies to start sign-off processes using ships. We are in discussion with various ministries to start. Uh, Seafarers have already been allowed to board Vande Mataram flights, leaving the country for sign-on. These countries have been restricted to only three. We are in touch with various ministries and departments to eliminate the, the countries and leave it on the RPS agencies to choose as to where, to what destination these seafarers need to be sent. Hopefully, those decisions will come very soon. We are also in discussion with the Ministry of External Affairs and other ministries to design an SOP allowing Indian seafarers to freely travel on flights that are available or on chartered flights. Uh, Substantial discussions have happened on these issues, and I'm hopeful that in coming few days we will see some positive movement. We have received some requests for use of chartered flights for taking our seafarers abroad to a foreign country for sign-on. Uh, I expect that the approval for that chartered flight will also come very soon. So what has been decided in principle is that on case-to-case basis, approvals will be given, both for sign-off and sign-off. And some movement I expect for sign-on, sign-off will start. If we get an SOP which does not require any approval from either DG Shipping or from any other ministry for chartering a flight for bringing in seafarers or taking seafarers out, then I would feel that a substantial progress has been made in so far as uh, job placement of our seafarers is concerned. But as I said, these are small, small milestones, and we have everyday struggle. We will achieve those milestones. We are aware of the problems being faced, and we are trying to find solutions for these problems. But the larger questions of keeping our vision intact and trying to achieve those visions is what we need to kickstart again. And for that, today I expect this conclave to contribute substantially on the short term, medium term, and long term goals that we need to achieve if we have to keep operating despite all crises that are in store for us today, tomorrow, and in future. With this, I would like to wish the organizers of the conclave well. I wish I give my best wishes to the speakers who have prepared for this conclave and who would be speaking before this large audience. And again, I would request the conclave organizers to to list out the deliverables that is arrived at after today's discussion, and do let us know the things that we as maritime administration need to do in short term, medium term, or long term basis. Again, I wish all of you very well, and I hope today's deliberations would be as fruitful as the previous ones. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your guidance and for your words, for enlightening us on what all is happening. And like last time, we would try and fulfill your request, and we will try and give you a list of deliverables as requested, sir. Thank you so much. I would request Captain Bhasin.
Captain Pradhan?
Captain Pradhan, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, he will come online now.
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Captain Pradhan, Deputy Master of the Company of Master Marines of India. I have a pleasant task of introducing the speakers to you. The speakers, or as I would call them, panel members, who will be interacting with you. Talking about webinars, well, webinars are not new to anybody. There have been several webinars in the past, but today's webinar is special. Special because of the galaxy of speakers which are with us today. All of them are widely known and have made a mark for themselves in our industry. So without taking much time, I'm going to just introduce them to you with simple 2 lines. So let's not waste too much time. Let me start with Captain Prashant Ranganekar, a master mariner, currently heading Elegant Shipping Crew, and he is also the immediate past president of MASA. Next, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Ashish Wankhede, a marine engineer, currently working as a Deputy Director of General of Shipping, Training and Education Department. He is in charge and responsible for training issues of seafarers and future possibilities of options which are available. Next in our lineup is Mr. I.N. Bose, very well known to all of us, marine engineer by profession, working as an advisor to JESO presently. He has been taking care of performance monitoring of ships and has been also representing India as a member of a delegation to various committee meetings at IMO. He is a voice of energy efficiency and pollution control of ships. Next in our lineup is Mr. Atul Ubare. He is an MBA graduate with wide experience in commercial shipping and is currently the Director of Bulk Carrier and Tanker Division of the Shipping Corporation of India. He brings with him a wide experience of market analysis and chartering. Next, we go to Mr. Umesh Grover, also a marine engineer and a former director of the Shipping Corporation of India. He served as the CEO of Indian National Shipowners Association and is currently working as the Secretary General of Container Freight Station Association of India. Last but not the least, Mr. Suresh Sinha, again a well-known personality, a marine engineer with experience of over 40 years and currently working as the Managing Director of the Indian Register of Shipping. Apart from the administration, he is mostly looking after the marketing and overseas operations of the Indian Register of Shipping. With that, friends, may I request Mr. Rai to please take over the session. Mr. Rai.
Rai sir, can I just 1 second, please? Sorry, I just want to correct. Captain Prashant Ragnekar is a current chairman of MASA, apart from Chief Operating Officer of Elegant Marine Services. I just wanted to correct that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm surprised to hear you mentioned it past Masa. But anyway.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, thank you, Captain Pradhan. And as Mr. Jain elaborated, today's conclave, we are having basically compiled some questions and answers that we have received before this today's conclave from the various segments and participants. And also some questions which were raised at earlier webinars, etc. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate this question to the 6 speakers. And unlike other webinars where you have presentation, etc., our session of conclave will be mostly of question and answer. So let me start right away. My first question will be to Prashant Ragnekar. Mr. Ragnekar, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so the first question to you, which has come from the participants, as well as what we gathered from various other webinars, etc., is that how do you see and have otherwise experienced the COVID-19 challenge with respect to crewing operations? I will also combine one more, that over 150,000 seafarers are estimated to be looking for relief and replacement in the next 1 month. As a leading global ship management company, how you foresee opportunities for India's placements? India has made remarkable jump in last 2 years, and our number is nearing 2.5 lakhs today, but our goal is 5 lakhs. How you look at the crewing replacement or placement agency that we can achieve that target? Mr. Ragnekar.
First of all, good afternoon to Shri Amitabh Kumarji, the panelists, CMMI, IMEI, and all the seafarers. Hopefully, quite a few of them who have joined us. I can see that close to 200 are attending this seminar. I don't know which hall would have taken that many. So thanks to this webinar, the technology where this makes this possible. Talking about challenges due to COVID-19, well, to start with, why go very far? Ask your wife. She'll list out 10 challenges which we face. And we sitting at home, maybe one of her challenge, how she manages us. And that was on the lighter side. But coming to the challenges with respect to crewing operations, yes, there are plenty. Ask the seafarers who are stuck on board today. Ask the crewing managers who have to manage them and get them relieved on time. You know, the world has recognized the contribution from the essential workers. And when we say essential workers, the doctors, the police staff, the police and the hospital staff are very visible in our face, and they get instant recognition. Most of the other industries are business to customer, whereas our industry is business to business. That means our seafarers don't come in the public eye. They don't get the recognition they deserve, and right, and even as an essential seafarer, the recognition has come late. Now, India has a strong force of more than 2 lakh seafarers of its own. Out of this, more than 1 lakh seafarers are on board any given time. In fact, the number of Indian seafarers who change positions every month, that is sign on and sign off, is more than 20,000. And now if the crew change is almost stopped for these 7 weeks, except what is happening on the Indian coast, you can imagine the number of staff, Indian staff who need to be relieved, to coming almost close to 20,000. And that's a huge number to manage. But there is a silver lining to any dark cloud. And here I must appreciate and acknowledgement the contribution from the Director General of Shipping himself, Mr. Amitabh Kumar, his staff, the Ministry of Shipping, all the port officials who are opening up Indian ports for managing these crew changes. In fact, soon after the MHA announced the SOP, the DGS himself, they come out with a SOP on 22nd of April for carrying out crew changes in Indian ports. That was subsequently followed with a addendum on the 6th of May for doing crew changes at the anchorages. Yet challenges are plenty. When this SOP is issued, unfortunately, it doesn't get carried and doesn't reach the workers who are at ground level. So the seafarer who is trying to get away from his home and trying to reach the ship, he gets stopped at the checkpost, he gets stopped at the state boundaries. Then the port officials or the port health officials have their own challenges to meet. So there are enough number of problems there. Then the COVID test has to be done for the seafarer before he goes on board as per the SOP, which is a good thing. But then there are some ports who ask for a COVID test first near his home, and then secondly before he joins the ship, before he boards the ship. Then again, there are challenges faced by the companies because though the seafarer is ready, he is at a remote location, his travel documents are in the office, the port where he's joining is at the third location, how you meet all these things. So the challenges remain a lot to cater with. Though this has not been so easy, but everyone in the industry is working together as one cohesive unit to make every crew change successful. In fact, I've never seen a more committed collaboration between all the stakeholders of the industry in order to make a crew change happen in the last 23 years of my shore service in the mining industry. And everyone ashore in our industry is working day and night to get this done. In fact, I will not exaggerate when I say that I myself had called Mr. Amitabh Kumar very late in the night, and he has answered the phone, he's answered the WhatsApp. In fact, he has a dedicated staff allotted to the industry, and we carry out meetings, Zoom meetings, or we communicate on the email, or we communicate on WhatsApp almost day and night, 24/7. So with this, what has happened is during this lockdown, about close to 3,000 Indian crew have joined the ships, and more than 4,000 have signed off and managed to be home with their families. So that's the total number. If you take sign in and sign off in the Indian ports, is close to 7,000 seafarers. That's a good number to achieve. MASA, FOSMA, IMF, the other unions, all working hand in gloves and coordinating with the DGS on a daily basis, writing letters on what needs to be done for expediting the relief of Indians and to grab new jobs by way of takeovers, by allowing crew changes at Indian ports, giving seafarers priority. And then we have this Vande Bharat mission flights, allowing, even we have also written to the ministry to allow chartered flights. And as Mr. Amitabh Kumarji just recently said, that is also getting active consideration, and maybe it will pass soon to operate chartered flights, and seafarers will get a priority in this Vande Bharat mission flights to come back home and to travel. So all these things are happening. And now this is about and then we have the cruise lines, who by themselves, I think, have more than 7,000 seafarers to bring back home. So there is a lot to be done. But as I said, the whole industry is working together, even late in the night, to make this happen. Now you asked me about the 150,000 seafarers who need to be relieved, and as a leading global company, we as fleet management, how we foresee this opportunity. Well, let me start by saying there's a famous saying which says, "Don't let a crisis go waste." And shipping has rarely seen a bigger crisis than what we see now when it comes to engagement of seafarers. Fortunately, the shipping trade is still going on, again, thanks to all the seafarers at sea. And this means ships are changing hands as well. So there are ships to be taken over, some from the yard and some are existing vessels. For any of this to happen, we need to send about 20 to 22 crew for one ship for a takeover. And this is where the opportunity exists by way of either bringing the vessels to the Indian coast for doing the crew change. And thanks to, again, the DG Shipping and others who are now made this possible of doing crew change at Indian anchorages. And allowing, then the next step will be to allow the foreign seafarers to get off in India, because if the Indians have to replace the existing staff on board, and some of them may be non-Indians, then the next task will be to see how we can get them off in India, which is currently not possible. Other is to charter flights, and we are looking really at this option of chartering flight to send the Indian crew out. to various destinations, Japan, Korea, and so on, to take over the ships. We're also working to see how we can maybe not lose the current opportunity. If Indians cannot travel, then have other nationalities take over the ship for a shorter duration. And then when the time is right, when the situation normalizes, when the contracts get over, have them replaced with Indians at a later stage. But of course, the immediate preference is to relieve these Indians on board whom we have with other Indians and not allow that slot to go elsewhere to any other nationality by way of maximizing crew at crew changes at Indian ports, and soon at foreign ports, we'll be able to do the same with the operation of the flights and seafarer now getting recognition as essential worker when taking the flight. So as I said, the challenges are many, opportunities are there, and I think the shipping industry is gearing up, working together to grab this. And we at Fleet Management are also doing everything possible as leading employers of Indian seafarers to not let this opportunity go by. Thank you. Mr. Rai, did I answer your question or anything more?
Yeah, thank you so much, Captain Ragnekar. If anything more, myself or Captain Basir will come back to you. So thank you
very much.
And I especially would like to thank the directorate that they address most of the problems of the seafarer related to signing on and signing off. Signing off in foreign ports was another issue, which also Director General of Shipping Shamita Kumarji addressed today. Otherwise, standard operating procedures, which were by Order 12, had simplified many things. So thank you to the directorate. And thank you so much, Ragnekar. If anything, I'll come back to you. So
thank
my
you, sir.
speaker for the day is Mr. Ashish Wankhede. Because there are the two very important and crucial issues. One is related to seafarers, another is to the cadets and the trainees. I know a lot of positive initiation and timely action has been initiated by the directorate, particularly the Order 2 of 16th March, where you suspended all training classes and protected the cadets in the classes by maintaining that social distancing, etc. But it has also raised some questions as to what happened to the period when these classes has been suspended and not running. The Circular 16 has allowed now virtual classes. I would like from you to know that how this training period and minimum period which a cadet has to complete before he is eligible for examination, etc., will be dealing with this in the current situation. And particularly if the situation lingers on continues, how you will cope up for the examination. And I hope that our supply chain of the cadets is not affected because of this. Mr. Wankhede, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so much, CMMI and IMEI, to give me this opportunity to speak in front of such a big crowd. Though your question was too long to really comprehend and make out exactly what you're looking for. But yes, I can say something about this. I hope that all are staying safe at home and taking all due precautions. Something like social distancing. Honestly speaking, when I think about social distancing, I find the word too harsh. I think it should be physical distancing that we are looking for. And socially, we should come together to help each other in such crisis. Anyway, coming to this maritime education and training, the Directorate General of Shipping has been taking quite a number of steps in last few years in relation to e-governance system for effective control and monitoring of maritime education and training. Among the other steps, we have fortunately been able to start the e-learning process also. And you will be happy to know that as of now, around 11,500 candidates have enrolled themselves for the e-learning of SCC modular courses. And out of this, almost 4,500 had already cleared the assessment part of that. So that is a good way. And I see that a lot of seafarers are making good use of this time to at least go through this e-learning platform, and they are being benefited. As far as the other COPs are concerned, like the dangerous cargo certificates and all, we have started it almost 1 year now, we have issued somewhere around 25,000 certificates of proficiency. And you will be glad that at least 35,000 seafarers have got their endorsed number just on a single click. As DG sir had rightly pointed out, we are trying to reduce the encounters. And same thing is what you can say will be happening after the COVID-19 situation. Maybe we were on that line, but COVID-19 made it a little bit faster. We have to think, organize, and see to it that we cope with this situation at the earliest. To brief you on something, yes, virtual classes are there. The draft document is almost ready, and shortly we should be coming out with a proper guideline on this. So there are, almost 90 maritime courses, out of which some 50 maritime courses are modular kind of courses for which we are planning to have exit examinations also, which can be conducted online. As of now, that exit examination is planned for 21 courses. Regarding the supply chain management, I have a different kind of opinion because I see that a lot of our junior officers are actually jobless. They are looking for a job. So if the requirement is of junior officers, I don't see a big challenge in that. The whole idea is India, if you see the capacity utilization is hardly 25% across all maritime courses. We are using only 25%. So the prerequisite, that is the training that is required for the maritime industry, I think we are doing very good in that. In case if you have any kind of feedback, suggestions, we are coming out with virtual classes, that is one thing. But in addition to this, if you have any kind of, you can say deliverables, or you have any kind of inputs, please feel free to write us. We are very, very positive, and we will see to it that if something is helpful for the industry, we will implement it at the earliest. Thank you so much.
Raisa, you have to unmute.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Mr. Wankade. Thank you so much. And as you said, there can be many questions on the subject. I leave that to the end. Meanwhile, I invite Mr. Bose to be the next speaker. And the questions I have again quite a few. But what I'm going to ask you is about the digitalization. Lately, digital technological advancement, data integration, and autonomous ships are hitting the headlines. How do you think it will revolutionize and provide new opportunities to global shipping and assist in survival and sustenance of the shipping industry? New technology.
Thank you, Mr. Rai.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Rai, and good evening to all. First of all, I would like to thank CMMI and Institute of Marine Engineers for arranging this conclave and giving me an opportunity to share my experience on this particular issue, the digitalization. Actually, among all these economic gloom, human misery that is happening, and we don't know for how long this is going to continue, there is a positive sign about the benefit that we are all getting from digitalizations and from this particular technology. I was reading in one article that some industry expert in this field saying that this pandemic has leapfrogged digitalization by a decade in no time. And we can see it, the platform we are using to have a meeting like this. Some of the things that have taken off in shipping industry, what I find is electronic bills of lading, electronic certificates. I'm sure from Mr. Suresh Sinha, we will hear more about it. Remote inspections, remote audits. And this is saving on times, using the process more efficiently and at a cheaper cost. Then virtual meetings. I mean, and just this week, we had an informal, some of the IMO member states, we had a meeting lasting for about 2 hours on certain issues that we wanted to discuss. And there were people from Japan, also to Brazil, in different time zones. And we took a time zone which is not too early for Brazil and not too late for Japan. And it was held very efficiently. I mean, I couldn't have imagined doing something like this just a few months ago. Then container tracking app. This is being used by shippers on a mobile phone. They can track their containers. They can book slots. They can track the movement of the ships, get quotations, everything. And one particular major container line has reported that per week, the transaction used to number 70,000 of use of that particular app. Last month, it was 130,000. Then virtual classroom, as Mr. Vankate mentioned about the virtual classroom, we in Great Eastern Shipping, we have a pre-seed training center, Great Eastern Institute of Maritime Studies in Lonavala. We do some post-seed training too. Now in pre-seed training, we had to shut down the hostel because of government requirements and send all the boys and girls back home. But rapidly, very soon, the faculty members and everybody took on the task to make sure that those boys are kept busy and some amount of training is conducted. And this was being done virtually initially for a few hours. Now it is going up to 8 hours a day. And I was very pleased to hear, I mean, many of the marine engineers will be very pleased to hear that even through mobile phone camera, the equipments in workshop are being beamed to the villages where the cadets stay and see how the pump looks like. So these are the technologies which we couldn't think of doing it. Yes, it is getting formalized, and also it is extremely useful. But at the same time, I was reading an article the other day. It is by ABB, who has been at the forefront of digitalizations in shipping industry and oil industry. So they are saying that the cruise shipping industry, they have been promoting research, development, testing, etc. So they being in doldrum now they see a rapid drop in that kind of investments. And it can be imagined, I mean, any ship owner, without knowing how long this is going to last. And today the freight market is extremely bad, other than tankers, which is very big. So everybody is trying to conserve cash for that, and we wouldn't see much of an investment in the trials and research and development at this point of time. But if a ship owner finds that there is going to be value in investing in certain technology, digital technology, I'm sure it will be done. Then another thing which has taken little backseat is electronic exchange of data between ship and port. This is one thing that is being developed in IMO with a scheduled implementation by 2021, that ship's data through ECDIS is linked to port's database. So port knows where is the ship, when is it coming, what speed, what cargo, etc. Everything they know. And the port can tell the ship that when to arrive, when the berth will be empty. Even the customs have access to that kind of database. So this kind of database exchange is under development. It's already in use. Certain ports like Rotterdam is using it, but it's going to be formalized world over. Internationally, there are today 60,000 ships and 9,000 ports. So this particular meeting has got delayed, which was supposed to be held in April, and these meetings are held once a year. So we will see certain delay in that particular field. So that is all I have from regarding digitalization and what kind of benefits it's getting. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Bose, thank you so much for your elaboration on already working on e-governance, e-management, and e-working. And even the director has taken it in the big way. Actually, I have some more questions for you, particularly related to greenhouse gas emission and environmental issues, because you represent India at IMO also. But I'll come back to you on that later. Meantime, I'll call our next speaker of the day, Mr. Atul Ubale. Mr. Ubale, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sir, I think you are the only person who representing the business segment, because mostly our today's gathering are the technocrats. So I will basically ask you some very preliminary questions regarding to business, because the impact of this COVID-19 we discussed in detail at our last webinar, which we had on 25th of last month. But I still would like to know, okay, what are the opportunities available for Indian ship owners from Indian business perspective? Can you just give some outline on that? You represent the biggest shipping company of the country. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Thank you very much, Mr. Rai, and good evening to everybody here. First and foremost, I'm thankful to Institute of Marine Engineers and Company of Master Mariners for inviting me on a panel and allowing me to share my views in front of all of you. Yes, the huge opportunities for Indian ship owners. It's a matter of shame that our share, Indian ship owners' share in India's exim trade is not that great. But yes, plenty of opportunities available, right from tankers to bulk carriers to coastal trade. But talking about the Indian oil sector fundamentals, there itself huge amount of opportunities are available for everybody. Today, at present, the Indian PSU refiners requires at least 14 to 15 VLCCs, about 10 to 12 Suezmax tankers, about 8 to 10 Aframax tankers per month to meet their requirement. And unfortunately, currently, our Indian shipping companies' fleet is not that enough to meet their requirement. And going forward, we all know that India is oil import dependent country, and India's oil import is expected to reach a level of about 420 million metric tons per annum by the year 2030. And to meet this requirement, there will be a requirement of additional 50 VLCCs and 30 Suezmax tankers, a huge requirement. And so basically Indian ship owners, they can really grow along with the Indian refiners. On the product side also, product trade also, lot of movement is going on the coastal. The coastal movement is likely to reach to a level of 23 million metric ton by the year 2025. And the export of product is also going to reach to a level of 85 million metric tons at the end of 2025. So there are also a lot of opportunities for MR tankers and LR1 tankers on the coastal, as well as export of products are concerned. On the dry side also, a lot of movement of the coastal coal movement, as well as import of coking coal. The coastal coal movement is likely to increase to about 63 to 64 million metric tons by the year 2022. Similarly, coking coal import is also likely to increase to the tune of 64 million metric tons by the year 2023. So there is also a lot of business opportunities for the Indian ship owners. Accordingly, there is enough scope, I feel, for the Indian ship owners to augment their fleet, okay, by way of acquisition of second-hand tonnage or new building tonnage. But yes, shipping funding as well as ship financing is an issue, and it's a topic by itself which can be discussed at length. I don't want to dwell much time on that. But of course, there are other ways to acquire tonnage. One is long-term time chartering, that is controlled tonnage. You have sale and leaseback arrangements. You have pooling arrangements. So by all these things, you can really contribute to the share of India's exim trade. Further, most importantly, there are a lot of opportunities available in inland waterways, coastal shipping. Government of India has taken several initiatives in this sector and boosting the connectivity of its hinterland. A few years ago, we had hardly 5 waterways, but now we have about more than 111 waterways which are available for business purpose, which is a big jump. So concurrently, Indian companies can enhance its presence in coastal trade, coastal sector, and achieve to meet the objective of the government of India under Sagarmala program for port-led development and development of the Indian coast. RoPax is also one of the segment which is quite upcoming. There is a need for, in India, there is at present, there is a need for developing a robust sea lift capacity to deal with the extraordinary exigencies, such the one which we are facing right now, COVID-19 in India. Additionally, one more sector I see there is a lot of scope and opportunity there, and which has been discussed in India for almost 5 to 7 years. That is having our third-party insurance, having an Indian third-party insurance. But yes, there are issues there. You have to have expertise in that. You have to have correspondence at various ports, and also the guarantee which will be given by the Indian third-party insurance should have an international recognition. So I think there are, of course, a lot of other opportunities also available, but prima facie for the growth of Indian shipping companies, if we can concentrate on these opportunities which are readily available with us, and with little bit of support of the policymakers, I think sky is the limit for the Indian shipowners. Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Atulubale, thank you so much. Actually, we are just about on time, but I have one more very brief question for you, and I want a small brief answer. And this relates to oil prices. Oil prices are currently at record low. Can this be considered as godsend oxygen for trade to survive?
To certain extent, yes. To certain extent, yes. After hitting all-time low of 19.33 in the month of April, the oil prices have now regained back to a level of a modest level of 33. That is mainly because of the there is an increase in demand. There is a little sign in increase in demand, as well as there is a production cut from the OPEC side. But according to the International Energy Agency, they expect that oil demand to fall by. So the answer to the question is, of course, yes. At the same time, no also. The low prices, the low bunker prices, the low oil prices have directly impacted the bunker cost. And we all know the bunker cost is the most important element of any voyage economics. Bunker cost is almost 50 to 60% of your direct operating expenses consist of bunker cost. Further, what has happened during last couple of months, most of the ships, most of the VLCCs, they have gone on a storage tanker. And also a lot of ships got stranded at the discharge end because there was no allege with the refineries. So with an effect, what has happened, there was less requirement for the bunkers, and the bunker prices went down drastically. So there was a direct impact on the bunker prices. So really ship owners really gained out of that. So this has actually helped ship owners to reduce the stress on the cash flows and improve the time charter yield, what we call the TCY of their voyage. So one thing is true. So even in a depressed market condition, if the bunker prices are in control, a ship owner can make good amount of money because of the cost factor. Having said that, there is a flip side also to this. Lower bunker costs removes the incentives available with the ship owners for doing slow steaming. So there is always a tendency to speed up the ship and try to maximize number of voyages during the course of the year. So this can also have an adverse effect on the freight market because there will be bunching of ships at the road port region. But at the same time, there is also opportunity available with the Indian ship owners. Because of the low bunker prices, we can get into long-term bunkering contracts. And some shipping companies, they are into hedging of bunkers. So this is a good opportunity and good time for them to carry out this activity. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much. As I said, you are the only person from the business sector, and I wish the industry to pick up at much faster pace despite the downtrend which is continuing for last so many times. Thank you so much. I will, if required, will come back to you. My next
you,
question, Mr. Grover. Sir, you are coming from a totally different and a new segment of the industry, which most of we technocrats are not fully aware. So I will just request that the import-export trade is heavily dependent on timely connection or documentation like bill of lading, letter of credits through global banking system and banks. While some are manual and some are electronic, do you think there is an opportunity to go completely digital and simplify this complex documentation? Will it be safe and will it bring down the cost substantially? So can you focus on that if we go more on digitalization as Mr. Bose has also suggested? So what is your opinion, particularly on content freight stations?
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Mr. Rai. I think Atul has also mentioned something on commercial, and Mr. Ian Bose very rightly put that yes, digitization is the way forward. And what we have seen in the last 2 months, I think it could not have been achieved in last 2 years. Let me give you a slight background of this trade before I move forward, because this is one trade that is, let me focus on the container trade alone, container exempt trade. The impact of COVID-19 was instantaneous. Unlike seafarers who had to some time in hand, maybe 3 days, 4 days, 10 days. But here, the truckers, even before the COVID started, the police drove away the truckers from their residences because they thought they are living together and they'll spread COVID. The truckers abandoned the trucks all over the country, and out of 30, 40 lakh trucks which ply daily on the roads, they're not even 50,000. The factories closed instantly. Truckers abandoned the trucks on the highways, on the factories. The documentation got stuck because, as you rightly mentioned, the bill of lading is the most important document. That is an instrument which is normally negotiated through the bank, through LCs. But thanks to the digitization, a lot could be retrieved in a very, very short time. This is a very complex trade, and there's a one trade that which touches the, which is visible to the common man. There are hundreds and thousands of importers, and the goods which move are consumed on a daily basis. So the concerns of importers came into picture that, look, the factories are closed. How do we take our goods? So this is where the container freight stations and the shipping lines came in. First thing, hats off to the terminals, the shipping lines, and the CFSs. Because of digitization, they could continue. Number one, the terminals get something known as import general manifest, which is filed by the lines, on basis of which the importers file a bill of entry in the custom house. So two major kudos to this. One was customs in India in the last 3-4 years have become so automized that most of the processes are already automatic and nothing really suffered. The terminals were geared up because they, in any case, work on purely on electronics and purely on automation. You'll be surprised the container ports like Hamburg and other places, even for the last 15 years, they work without a human interface. The trucks which move in the terminal are without drivers, fully automatic. The cranes are fully automatic. The container is picked up without a driver. It goes to the right slot. If the container is for St. Petersburg, it drops it on that slot. If it is not for that slot, a beeper comes. And so it's so perfect. The technology has really, really been a big boom in this particular sector. Coming on to the bills of the digitization, most of the shipping lines who were very, wary about accepting the electronic bill of lading, I think had no choice because there was no opportunity given. Earlier, the fear used to be the data security and protection of the data and whether the document is authentic. Because the bill of lading gives you the entitlement of the goods, is a document which makes you the owner of the goods, and the liability has to be discharged by the shipping lines. So this moved, 10 years faster in these 2 months. And I'm glad that a lot of industry got benefited because of this. There's another thing, what is known as a port community system, which put the CFSs, the ports, and the terminals together. All the ports, globally, container ports have it. India did not have an effective system. But 2 years back, this exercise started off by the Government of India, by Ministry of Shipping. There's a system called Portal, which brought in all the stakeholders together. So the ports kept functioning with electronic DEOs, with electronic payments, and to some extent electronic BLs, which still remained a challenge because the shipping lines had to have confirmation that it goes to the right hand and right source. So they had to request the banks to issue a letter of indemnifying them, both the exporters bank and the importers bank, because it's the exporter who hands over the documents in the export port, and the letter of credit is opened by the importer. When the goods arrive, he surrenders the documents, and the banks release the bill of lading. So this was a complicated affair, but I would say good 30 to 40% fell in place within first few days, and slowly they are all falling in place.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Grover. Actually, as I admitted to start with, we technocrats are not exposed to many of the intricacies of your container movement. So there are some more questions, but I think I will come back to you. So if you want to conclude, you can.
Let me not conclude right now. Only thing is there are a lot of opportunities which are going to come along on our way. Like DG also mentioned, and every speaker has mentioned, number one is digitization. And I think India can take the lead. In any case, most of the container companies are very strong on the, they are already very deep into digitization. And this blockchain technology is the one which is going to be adopted for all these bill of lading, which will become a universal practice. Even today abroad, most of the bills of lading are couriered and reach within 1 or 2 days. But this, I think, globally will change. So that is one major opportunity which is going to come ahead. Secondly, the Indian container trade is very skewed. It's very interesting that the freight rate could be zero or negative, but the land costs are very, very high. Our port costs are high, almost 4 to 5 times more than any international port. Let me give you an example. A 6,000 TEU container vessel in Colombo, if you pay $13,000 as the port charges, in India you pay $55,000 to $60,000. Second expensive part is that our logistics, anything more than 500 kilometers movement should be by rail, whereas our 50 to 60% movement of the containers pan-India hinterland, because 40% cargo moves to the hinterland or comes from hinterland. It all moves by road, and it's expensive, and it's not eco-friendly. So this is what a paradigm shift needs to be done. The reason is why it is going on is because our railway system is old. The tracks are 100-year-old. If globally the trains run at a 70-kilometer speed, here the container speed runs at 30 kilometers. A shipper or a receiver is sure that in 5 days by truck his container will reach. But with train, it may take 10 days, 12 days, or 20 days because there's a lot of waiting period. See, there are 20, 30 trains which run every day from JNPT to Delhi or from Mundra to Delhi, which take anything between 72 days to 5 days to 60 days to 10 days. Here to door, a truck takes within 3 to 4 hours, and the cost, first mile and the last mile connectivity cost more or less works the same. But opportunity ahead is that with the dedicated freight corridor, this is going to have a huge impact with the volumes. Because today a container train runs with 90 TEUs. It's a single tier, and they move at about 30 kilometers per hour. With the new dedicated freight corridor, you will have a 1,500-meter train. That means you will have 180 TEUs, and you will have double stack. So you'll have 360 TEUs per train, and instead of moving at 30 kilometers per hour, it's going to move at 70 kilometers per hour. So the multiplier effect is going to be 8 times. And the future as it looks is going to be a paradigm shift from road to rail. Same thing on the coastal shipping. It has not been allowed to come up, especially for the container, because of the truckers' lobby, because that's a vote bank. And this is, again, needs to be changed as long as the first mile and the last mile connectivity is achieved. Because if your cost of connecting to the port or from the port to the to the industrialist or the factory is expensive, then the coastal shipping is not going to work. So that is another opportunity which I feel will arise post COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grover. And as I said, there are several more questions there, but I think we'll come back to you later. Now I invite Mr. Suresh Sinha to be our last speaker. And though he is last among the 6 of you, but he showed us a lot of responsibility on shoulders. So, Mr. Sinha, can I request you to please answer? I also know that IRS is the current chairman of IX, so we have added responsibilities on the organization. But the question to you, sir, is, isn't it an opportunity for class societies to introduce new technologies and remote survey concept in a big way, particularly now when surveyors are finding difficult to go on board? So probably this could be an opportunity for surveyors to use the new technologies like survey performed from ashore, though live streaming and continuous live data, etc. What are the views of the Indian Register of Shipping? New technologies and new methodologies to do surveys.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rai, and good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to thank Institute of Marine Engineers and Company of Master Mariners India for providing me opportunity to speak on this important subject. To start with new technologies, definitely new technological advancements are taking place in terms of digitalization. Mr. Ian Bose, Mr. Grover has already spoken. Of course, I would also like to touch up slightly with respect to the shipping class society as a concern. Further, there's a advancement has taken in connectivity, automations, fitment of sensors, and as Mr. Someone said that, Mr. Bose said that the tracking of containers through the digitalization and possibly maybe blockchain. One advantage of digitalization, which has happened as a class point of view, that we are able to issue e-certificates. And with e-certificates is possibly the backbone of remote survey today. If there was no e-certificates, we would not have been able to give the final product of the remote survey. Well, touching regarding digitalization from class perspective, apart from e-certificates, today all our drawings approvals for both for new building, existing ships, modifications, or in e-platform. Even all the documents, stability, everything can be provided on e-platform. And all our survey reports can be shared with the stakeholders like flags, digital in a digitalized form. But the main topic, of course, is today, what you have given me is talking about the remote survey. So let me talk about remote survey. Basically, remote survey is the word is nowhere appears in the class rule, neither in the class rule nor with IMO any instrument. This basically has come because of this unprecedented disruption which has caused the shipping. As surveyors are not able to board the vessel, there are the safety issues, and that is how the word remote survey has come in forefront today. Just to go back a bit early, I mean, somewhere in the middle of March, IMO Secretary General issued a circular urging all stakeholders to come together and ensure that the shipping trade must continue. And with that, IX, as you said that IX, we are our executive chairman, he is chairing the IX. So we established a task force within the IX, which is called COVID-19 task force, to see what all services, what all certificates, what all surveys can be done through using by remote technique. And we developed some data and some guidelines, and not guidelines, rather what can be done in which type of surveys. And we shared that with the international industry stakeholders also. They had their own concerns that if the certificates are not issued, if the surveys are not extended, that it will affect the shipping adversely. And thereafter, there was a roundtable meeting at IMO, again with the stakeholders, where IMO Secretary General, in the minutes of the meeting, we noted that the remote survey are taking place. So only reference I see remote technique is that in the minutes of the meeting of 30th April, where the Secretary General noted the remote, is happy to see the remote surveys are taking place. Now, in present context, the remote surveys are mainly limited to extension of survey. That means the vessel certificates are expiring and everyone has understood that there's a force majeure and therefore shipping has to continue, so something has to be done. So through remote survey, what we are trying to do is extend the certificate for 3 months, as SOLAS allows 3 months. And this is with a specific concurrence with the flag. As I said, there's no instrument, there's no IMO instrument by which you can do, which allows you to the remote survey. So therefore, remote surveys are done with a specific concurrence, case-to-case concurrence with the flag administrations. Of course, to standardize what we need to do and how we'll do remote surveys, because you just can't say that I will do remote surveys. So we have developed our own detailed procedures. This is called D11, and which covers what all remote survey and what would be looking at and on what basis we will be making decision-making process. So all that has been shared with the various flag administration, and I'm happy to say that Indian government, Indian administration also accepted, and therefore that is how we have been doing a remote survey. We have done almost 150 remote surveys and audits and issued e-certificates in all the cases. But you see that fact remains that one is, of course, force majeure, where you can give 3 months extension. And there is another in SOLAS, what we call is special circumstances, where you can, if the vessel cannot be attended in a particular port, for the port is where surveyor cannot reach, then at the maximum another 3 months extension can be given. Some of the flag administrations, they have said so that they do not, they can, if the RO is submit the procedures, the 6 months, 3+3 can be given. But as I said, primarily it is limited to extending the certificates for 3 months and plus 3 months. Of course, some of the flag administration says, no, you can't do 3 months is the only one can you do, and beyond 3 months, you have to do some part survey. Coming back to your question of whether remote survey concept can be taken in a big way, I would say it is rather early to predict and say that remote survey can be done in a big way. Because let's first understand, we all know that survey is nothing but a process of risk assessment. And we all understand the risk assessment when you physically board the vessel, when you can see each and everything with your visual eyes. So the extent of risk assessment which you can do, you can't be doing through remote survey, because you need to see the structural safety, you need to see the machinery safety, you need to see the cargo system safety, you need to see the life safety. So various safety which you cannot do. However, the experience which is being gained, we have to work on that so that we can come out with a development of a consistent procedure, that how a particular remote surveys are done. Just let me explain you what do we do in the remote survey. Remote survey, in remote survey, what we are doing is the success depends upon the pre-planning of the survey. So what do we do? Depending on type of survey, we send our checklists and also what we would be looking at, for this survey. So we send them, master chief engineer, ship specific and survey specific checklist 2 days in advance. Now the master has to go through those checklists. He has to fill up the checklist and be ready for direct interactive session. And we also tell them that which are the area which we would be needing, which will be looking at through the video, through video streaming or through the sensor data. So this is sent to them well in advance, and then we sit with them once they are prepared, and then the surveyor tries to do the risk assessment. Whatever queries he has, he asks them directly, and whatever he has specific, something he wants to see the fire pump running, something he wants live boat lowered, so it is being lowered and videos. So all these things are done. But to be very frank, we do not have a consistent procedure today for carrying out remote survey. And this is the one aspect which is now we have IX in there is a group. It's called IX Strategy Committee, a steering committee for strategy. So in a steering committee for the strategy, we have raised the issue to bring a structured approach for remote survey. So I would say yes, if not today, maybe further down the line when we gain this experience gained is a shared and experience gained is shared. And I'm sorry, having slight problem with my screen. Okay, experience. And then we have to come up with the technical parameters for this survey. What would be the technical parameters for acceptance? That we have to come out. But this, how do you bring equivalency between the physical survey and the remote survey? Some amount of equivalency decision-making process has to be there. And a risk-based approach that can underpin decision-making process, that will be very important. Now, another aspect is basically the survey. If you do remote survey, it has to be accepted by the insurance body and the flag. And finally, there has to be baseline document of the IMO instruments has to be modified to cater to the remote surveys. Some other important aspects also, what about legal aspects in doing remote surveys? Today, if a surveyor does the survey, if something goes wrong, he is liable, he has to explain, he can be pulled in court. So how do we cover the legal aspects and underwriting aspects of a remote survey, and how do we indemnify the surveyors and the class society? So there are issues, and I'm sure that once we move ahead, once we analyze whatever the experience gained, so this could be further developed, where if not all, certain part of the there could be a possibility that certain surveys, a limited way, can be done through the remote survey. Of course, it will take a long time, because as I said, that lot many other things has to be, and eventually finally has to be accepted by the administration and industry body as well as the IMO and all. So I think I hope that I have clarified on this.
Thank you, Mr. Sinha. Thanks a lot for your detailed explanation on the remote survey. I was only surprised to know that remote word is not there in IX dictionary as yet. But I hope your chairman chairing the IX and India has the honor, something will come out of the remote surveys, because I'm sure future lies there. So thank you so much. And I will take this opportunity to thank all my panelists and the 6 speakers. And we are coming almost to our next schedule of the day. So I will hand over to Captain Basim. Can you please take over the question answer session from the same speaker? Because I believe there are a lot of questions from the audience and something which has been sent to us before even this webinar started. So thank you again, my panelists, your very detailed and explanatory notes and explanation. Captain Basim, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rai, sir. Thanks to our esteemed speakers. I have a lot of questions. I have a few, and I will go one by one. First of all, to Captain Ragnekar, please. Sir, you are there?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So the question is, how do you see and otherwise experienced the COVID-19 challenge with respect to crewing operation?
So I think that is what we answered. I mean, in my first session. But there is one more challenge which is there now. As we are trying to send Indians across, the problem exists with visas. As you know, Indian passports are not one of the most favored ones across. So if you want to, use this opportunity to grab the seats on foreign flag vessels, because 80% of the seafarers work on foreign flags, then the Minister of External Affairs has to work with their counterparts in other countries and make a green channel for the Indian seafarers to cross across. Because today, thanks to DG Shipping and everyone, there is something called as e-migration, where the seafarer who is going across is a very bona fide and genuine seafarer with all valid documents. So there is no doubting his intention that he's a genuine seafarer, and seafarer armed with all those documents should be able to move over seamlessly to other countries and join the ships. So this is one of the challenges we face among all that I spoke.
Thank you, sir. I'll go one question to each speaker, and then time permitting, I'll come back, sir. Sir, our next question is to Mr. Ashish Wankade. Sir, you are there? Ashish ji?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, very much.
Yeah.
Audible and looking smart.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so the question is, there are plenty of questions. I have mixed it. UK is very seriously looking at introducing oral exams too, online oral exams. But we have not heard anything in our country. Then there is a similar question that e-certificates is the need of for the seafarers. So that's for you, sir. Any plans?
As far as oral examination is concerned, I mean, there are a lot of discussions going on how to conduct this oral examinations online using simulators and other whatever instruments we have. And also we are working towards this tablet examinations. So these things are after due deliberation, maybe it will be taken up. Regarding e-certificates, as I told you, the certificate of competence, this certificates of proficiency, we have already issued 25,000 certificates to seafarers, and that was all issued free of cost. So things are moving in the right direction. Very soon, we'll see something good coming up.
So I'll ask you something more on the question. Though you answered in your chat with Mr. Rai, they're saying, when are we going to have a DG approval to the e-governance, the e-learning or the e-teaching? A lot of institutes have developed it.
See, first of all, this e-learning means if you're talking about this virtual classes, yes, we are coming out with the specific guidelines on virtual classes, and based on the declarations given by the institutes on what are the infrastructure they are having to conduct these classes, yes, approvals might be granted. So that is one part. Secondly, it is very important when you're talking about e-learning platforms, they themselves need to be approved. There are specific requirements. If the institutes are meeting those guidelines, then definitely, yes, that is the way forward, because STCW convention itself allows you for distance learning and e-learning. And I think India as a country can definitely capitalize on that and try to come out with a better way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll move on to our other speaker, Mr. Bose, sir. I request Mr.
Yes,
Bose.
please. Yes, please.
Sir, there's a question. Post COP21 Paris Agreement, IMO has set targets for reduction of greenhouse emission from international shipping by certain margin up to 2030 and then by 2050. This will have significant implication for ship design and commercial aspect. How will COVID-19 impact the regulatory timeline of reduction of GHG emissions? What would be the impact on ship designs and operation? I'm sorry, the question is a bit long.
Yes, thank you. I will just put it very shortly. Yes, IMO has target to reduce greenhouse gas emission from shipping by 50% by 2050 compared to 2008 baseline, irrespective of fleet growth. I mean, whatever the fleet has to come down. Now, that kind of reduction you can't achieve with fossil fuel, like diesel oil or LNG, etc. You can't. So you need zero carbon fuel, and of course, renewable sources of energy. So zero carbon fuel, it could be hydrogen, it could be ammonia. There are many. And these are in various kind of testing stage in laboratory and research. So we need a proper fuel before we can achieve that. And these are under discussion today at IMO. But because of the pandemic, the meetings which were supposed to be held in March and April related to this has got shifted. And we don't know when we are going to meet. So in July, there is a council meeting which will be committing and completing it, and council will come out with their how to hold meeting and when. So, but nevertheless, with the time horizon is very long, 2050. So I do not see much of a change to that, but it's important for ship owners to know, because if you build a ship today, it's got a 25 to 30 years life. So you don't want your ship to become obsolete after 20 years. So this is, but short-term goal, Short-term goal, yes, that we are expecting. We working on the short-term goal, and depending on when IMO meets, or even they're thinking about having virtual meeting with translation in 7 languages. All United Nations organizations are talking about this. So we will see how it goes. So at the moment, it's little uncertain about the short-term goal when we will have the next meeting. I mean, that's an issue of save the planet or save the economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bose. It's a very relevant, actually, question because it's going to impact the worldwide shipping. I will go to Mr. Atul Ubale, sir. Sir, you are there?
Yeah.
So there's a question. New buildings and their deliveries are delayed. New buildings and their deliveries are delayed. Can this be encashed to make up some of the lost time and losses? It's a commercial question, sir.
Yes. Certainly, yes. To certain extent, yes, certainly. As per the order book, present order book, during the year 2020, almost 27 to 28 VLCCs and about 25 Suezmax tankers on a tanker side, and about 80 Cape-size ships and about 100 Panamaxes are to be delivered. Some of these ships, because of this COVID-19 situation, are certainly like to get delayed. Deliveries are certainly like to get delayed. Is mainly because the delays at the shipyard, the delay in connecting the machinery and vital equipments, and also there is a delay in connecting the crew and officers to take the delivery, physical delivery of the ship. In fact, considering the current uncertain and depressed market conditions, most of the owners, they may not be even interested in taking the early delivery of the ships. Delayed delivery will certainly help the ship owners. The freight market will have some positive impact of that, and it will give some much needed relief to the ship owners in the already oversupplied market. Additionally, the ships which have gone for scrubber fitting as well as for repairs, those will also get delayed. So it will give some double bonanza for the ship owners. Having said that, there is again the flip side here. The demolition market has taken a big hit during this COVID-19 situation and lockdown situation in India and Bangladesh. The rate, which was around $400 per LDT in February, it has come down to about $280 per LDT today. And practically, there are no demolitions which are taking place. So the supply side is again getting affected there. Plus, because of the present low bunker prices, there is a delta between the HSFO and LSFO. The delta has reduced down to $60 to $70 per metric ton. So there is a big smile on the ship owners who have not fitted scrubbers on board. And whoever has planned to send their ships for scrubber fitting, probably they will delay their decision. But those ships also will be their part of the supply chain. Third aspect here also, as I said earlier, because of the low bunker prices, there is a tendency in the ship owner's mind to maximize the number of voyages by increasing the average speed of the ship. So all these three factors will definitely have some impact on the supply. But overall, once the lockdown is over and when the demolition market really takes place, we can see a very positive impact on the freight market. I hope I have answered your question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I will go to my good friend, Mr. Moish Grover. Mr. Grover, sir, you are there?
Yeah, very much there, Bhasin Saab.
Sir, I'm going to ask you the tough one. The question is, as Honorable Prime Minister mentioned, every difficulty can be converted to opportunity. What sort of transformation and opportunity do you see for logistic industry post COVID-19?
Thank you, Bhasin Saab. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is that with the sentiments so negative against China, which is the biggest producer of everything in the world. As you know, the trade moves east to west. Not to south, it's all east to west. From China, it comes to India, it goes to Europe and the US. The container trade. From India, it goes to US and Europe. So China is let us give you the size first. What is China's size and what India's size? India's total container trade is about 16.7 million. China, Shanghai alone is 42 million, and the total country is 200 million capacity. So we're talking about a very, very large variance. Now, with the sentiments against China, due to various reasons, I think there's a huge, huge opportunity in India because we are the largest growing economy. In any case, we were supposed to be the largest economy by 2050. I think this will, speed up. It will put us on a very fast track. We have to seize this opportunity, win the confidence of the global players to start setting up shops here. We'll have to do two things. One is to ensure the quality, which Chinese over the period of time have improved in the quality also on certain things, but they continue on bad quality as well. So one is focus on the quality and delivery on time. So if we get ourselves disciplined, our factories get disciplined, I think it's a major, major opportunity. We can become a major superpower much, much faster than what was anticipated.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll go to Mr. Suresh Sinha now, sir. Mr. Suresh Sinha, sir, you are there?
Yes, please. Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question. Though you answered, you spoke about the thing, online survey and survey from the outside. There's a question. The flags are now allowing ROs to do annual surveys and ISM audits. I'll repeat my question. Flags are now allowing ROs to do annual surveys and ISM audits, even remotely from ashore. What is your opinion?
Okay. Coming back, as I said earlier, that presently the flags are only authorizing class society to extend the certificates or carry out audit and extend the certificate, not a full-fledged renewal audit or renewal survey. So basically, the mandate which is being given, I said that there's no IMO instrument which talks of the remote surveys. Neither SOLAS nor any ISM convention, no class society has anything rule developed for remote survey. So each society has developed its own. So presently what is being done is each case by case we seek authorization, and this authorization normally only come for extension, not for renewal survey and not for a annual creating of annual survey. Yes, part create can be done. As I said, this lot of learning has taken place. So something can be seen, it can be advanced, but the survey cannot be completed. Annual survey cannot be completed. And of course, you can't do any other survey than that. You can do annual survey, you can do a little bit occasional survey. You can't do a special survey, intermediate survey. But presently, it is depend on the flag. Flag has to give authorization, and we can only go up to that. And no one is, because you can't have the proper risk assessment from ashore. So all you can do is you can extend, or you can part held, keep the survey part held. Whatever you have seen, you credit it, leave something, and go back to SIP again whenever the situation comes and complete the survey. So it is extension and part held. And there may be possibility that certain remote certain survey can be done in future, but one has to develop a consistent approach, consistent procedure. As I said in IX, now we have raised an issue in IX strategy committee that let us develop a consistent procedures, not that the individual society have its own procedures. So let us develop a consistent and structured procedure for each type of survey. Once we develop, possibly we will share with the industry, we will share with the flag, we will share with the insurance body, and then we can come out something by which it could be, and how do we mitigate the risk part of it. Possibly in future, it can be accepted to certain extent for limited type of survey. I hope I have.
Thank you, sir. And I also do hope, because we all are aware, there's enough technology actually available to do the remote monitoring of the various machineries and other parameters on board. And I take your word, sir, as you said, now IRS is in an annex body. So we hope to see the positive result. Especially this COVID-19 has taught us many things which we never imagined before.
Yeah.
Actually, we are overshooting the time. I have plenty of questions. I will humbly request that we have noted down the question from the chat, and maybe the CMMI and IMEI body together, we can later on go back to answer them. we are short of time, so at this time I will close our question answer session. I thank all our esteemed speakers for the valuable time. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Basim. Thanks, CMMI and IMEI.
I will now ask Mr. T.S. Garish to please come and give the summing up of the seminar.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Captain Basim. We are short of time, so I will keep my summary quite brief. We heard some very engaging discussions from our 6 eminent panelists. They have given a peek into what has happened in the last 8 weeks and a glimpse of what the future likely holds. I think a common thread that has come out of it is that digitalization and the need to embrace technology is key for the industry to survive, whether it is with the way ships are managed, whether it is training, use of remote technology for service. I think all the panelists unanimously agreed that COVID-19 just leapfrogged the use of digitalization and technology, and what was likely to have come about in the next 2 to 5 years horizon has already happened in the last few weeks. So I will, when Mr. Amitabh Kumar started off, I think he said that we have to dream big and we have to act now. So I will finish off with William Arthur Ward's wise words. The pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist expects it to change, and the realist adjusts the sails. So I hope that we act, and I think there is an opportunity for Indian shipping to reach new heights. So before I hand over to Captain Jha for the vote of thanks, Mr. Jain would like to make an announcement about the next seminar. Over to you, Jain sir.
Good evening, everybody. I think today's webinar conclave has been wonderful, and part of IMEI's objectives are, in addition to giving a lot of gyan, if I can call this, amongst its members, we also try and mix it up with a bit of social activities. We had a webinar, we had a meditation session a couple of weeks back, conducted by Mr. Sanjay Bhatia, our Mumbai Port Trust chairman. Next Sunday, that is 24th evening, we are planning an e-Antakshari session. I'm sure the ladies would look forward to this, and it's meant to be interspersing our all our heavy technical seminars with something light. We will be advertising, and we will be sending out the mailers in the coming weeks so that everyone can try and participate. And sure enough, there will be prizes, and we hope to build on the excitement and get a lot of people there. So with this, I think I would like to hand over to Captain Jha, Master of the CMMI, to please take over.
Good afternoon, sir. It was really a wonderful. In fact, it makes me very, very happy. A couple of months back, what I had dreamed along with Mr. Uday, we should have a joint seminar. We should have a joint every function, whether it is a webinar or seminar or some knowledge-based something. So it should be jointly. And today I can see it is happening. It gives me great satisfaction. I managed to bring the both professional body into one. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks to a very special joint IMEI and CMMI conclave on the emerging maritime opportunities and transformation. It's really, when we are talking about what is next, we just limit ourselves in the training. I thank, first of all, to Mr. Amitabh Kumar, who has taken a really great step to help the seafarers. And it is being helped, it is being done, but it's not enough. Seafarers are not only the Indian seafarers, seafarers are the all around the world. We have made the SOP for the Indian seafarers, but what about the foreign seafarers? They are stuck. He has been helping us like anything. You call him in the day, you call him in the night, and he will come back with a solution. I understand SOP will be ready for a foreign seafarers as well by the next week, and then the implementation will start. So I sincerely thank Amitabh Kumar ji for taking a bold step, not only in the ministry, but all over the country and the foreign seafarers getting helped. As he said that Alang shipyard is almost closed. The scrap value has come down. No seafarer can go. Demolition crew is not ready. No crew change can be possible. So we need to see the sector by sector and need to help the seafarers as and when possible. So I thank Amitabh Kumar ji for taking the bold and timely action. Thereafter, I come to the Captain Rangnekar. He and his company has been working tirelessly. Whenever you hear, Captain Rangnekar is in the forefront. Thank you, Captain Rangnekar. But one thing I would like to highlight was, it's a paradoxical situation. In a sense, people on the ship wants to come on leave, and people on leave wants to join the ship. Maybe various reasons. EMI is to be paid, money is finished. We are not able to make the end meet. Probably one side we are meeting it by signing off them, but other side we are not meeting it. So a lot of anger has come among the seafarers, and which is showing in the emotional parameters. Thereafter, I thank Mr. Ian Bose, Mr. Umesh Grover. I will request Mr. Umesh Grover that the commercial aspect of the shipping was known to the engineer and the deck officers. We have no value. We do not know what exactly the commercial aspect of the shipping is. It will be better if we can educate and re-educate both this professional body to understand what exactly is the commercial aspect. Thank you very much, Mr. Grover, for bringing the topic. I also like to thank Mr. Wankede, Mr. Atul, Mr. Suresh Sinha. In fact, just to add, Mr. Suresh Sinha and I were together as a master, newly promoted master, and the chief engineer sailed on a ship. We were young, and we used to think that we can do a lot, we can achieve a lot when we are working with the Baba Ship Management. In a true sense, I can see that it is going on. He has brought a lot of reforms. But as I said again, whenever we talk about the next, we limit ourselves only in the e-learning, e-teaching, e-oral examination. We do not go beyond that. Time has come to think we should go beyond that, educate the people, because it says, in Hindi it says, Avishkar, आवश्यकता ही आविष्कार की जननी होती है. The necessity is the need of discovery. So right now it is the necessity. We need to improve. We need to go a couple of steps further. So it will be most welcome if the seniors can come forward and show the path. I'm also privileged to thank Mrs. Malini Shankar, who is in this. I had no idea, I did not see her, but she is present. Thank you very much, ma'am. I also like to thank Mrs. Joshi, CMD Shipping Corporation of India. She is still there. Thank you very much, ma'am. And the industry captain, Captain S. Hazra. Thank you very much, sir, for joining it. A very special thanks to the IMEI President, Mr. Uday Purohit, an office bearer of CMMI, for painstakingly executing the entire event. Last but not the least, we thank all participants without whom the conclave would not have been possible. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for bringing the lovely discussion, argument. I'm sure we'll move from here further and make India proud. It is said, one who rules the ocean rules the riches. One who rules the riches rules the world. Time has come for India. We need to rule the world. We have to be a great economic power. And these thoughts, I would like to thank everybody in the audience, organizer. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. Captain Basin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We had a wonderful polling also at the same time, and all our participants have seen it. So that concludes our today's IMEI and CMMI combined joint conclave.
Thank you, Mr. Jan.
Thank you so much, sir. We can now rise for the national anthem. Is that right?
Yes. Janagana
mana adhinayaka jaya he Bharat bhagya vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you very much. Yeah, we conclude, Mr. Jan.
Yes, sir. That's the last. And thank you everybody for attending. The meeting stands